guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first video, hi, I'm Alaina, and this is The Organized Money, where we talk about planning life and managing money. Well, it's Money Monday, and in today's video, we are going to talk about 10 money habits that I believe you should start today. These are all money habits that I have applied to my life, and they have helped me so much on my financial journey. So I wanted to share them with you because I believe that they will help you with yours. So let's go ahead and get started. Habit number 1, building multiple streams of income for separate purposes. So back in 2017, I decided that I was going to create some different side hustles that will help me along my financial journey. I had already written a book and I was already speaking here and there at different events, but I wanted to build on that even more. And that's when I decided to create my own YouTube channel on planning and talking about money. But it wasn't just the fact that I decided to create the YouTube channel. It was the specific decision to have my YouTube income, as soon as I was monetized, go directly to paying off my debt. Every time I created a new stream of income, I decided before I actually got my first check from that stream of income, how I was going to use that income on my financial journey. So my YouTube income went directly to paying off my debt. My Etsy income went directly into savings. My Patreon income went directly to paying all of the bills for our home, and any other additional income stream that I received after that went into investing. Deciding what income streams I wanted to create and the purpose of how I was going to use that stream prior to actually receiving it helped me not allow lifestyle creep to come in and start spending the money in other ways. So my suggestion to you is to think about all of the different things that you're currently doing and how you can build multiple streams of income around that particular thing. So if you're a teacher, could you possibly tutor after school? And if you do decide to tutor, how are you going to use that extra income? Are you going to use it to pay down debt, to add more to savings? But decide how you want to use it prior to you actually receiving it. But either way, building up multiple streams of income and having separate purposes for that income helped me so much on my financial journey. Money habit number 2 that you should start today is giving yourself blow money. If you're wondering what blow money is, it's basically a miscellaneous line item in your budget that allows you some breathing room just in case you want to be a little bit spontaneous and have an impromptu purchase. So initially when we started budgeting, I had a line item for every single penny in our budget, and there was no extra money to move around. The issue with that is we're a family of 4, and every now and then something would come up. And every time something would come up, it would blow our budget and I would get super discouraged. So what we decided to do is add a miscellaneous line item. Usually it's around $50, and I would just pad it into our budget, and it's basically just there just in case anything small or random comes up. If one of our kids has a field trip or something small that they need to bring to school, it's fine because we have an extra $50. The money is there and we can use it. If we roll over into our next payday and we don't need it, then we just add it back into savings. It's basically a win-win. We don't feel super restricted. We have a little breathing room in our budget, and if something small comes up, it doesn't throw us completely off. So try this one out. You may not need $50. Like I said, we're a family of 4, so $50 kind of works for us. But if you're single and it's just you, you might need $25 or $15. Do what feels right to you, but you definitely want to add something in there just to give yourself a little breathing room in case something comes up. Budget habit number 3, categorizing your budget in the order of importance. I love this budget habit because it really puts you in the right frame of mind whenever you are creating your budget. And that's basically to make sure that you arrange it in the order of importance. So the order of my budget is number 1, tithes, then savings, then home, then transportation, then food, utilities, insurance, subscriptions, personal, and then debt. And I really like to place them in this order every single time I create a budget. Arranging your budget in the order of importance will definitely help you make sure that you are paying attention to the categories that you need to attend to first. When we're talking about things like making sure you pay yourself first, that is, of course, your savings. That's why it's at the top of your budget. And when we're talking about making sure that you cover your four walls, or the things that are the most important, that's when we're talking about covering your home and your transportation, your food, and your utilities. Those four walls, those things that you need to make sure that you cover the most, are important to your overall survival, because you need shelter, transportation, food, and utilities above everything else. That's why they are at the top of your budget along with your savings. Everything else is pretty much at my discretion, but I do like to put my budget in this particular way, categorizing this particular way to make sure that I remember what is most important to me. The things that are most important to you should definitely get your money first. Money habit number 4 is making sure that I pay attention to my life habits. Another big topic on this channel is the planning of our life, how we do our meal planning, our schedule, our time blocking of our day, and it is all important because it directly relates to how you are going to deal with your money. Even though most people don't correlate one thing to the other, how you handle your life, how you schedule, if you meal plan, if you work out, definitely will affect your money either now or in the long run. If you don't take care of your health now, then later on you may need prescriptions and other things that cost money in order to regain your health later. So make sure that you're paying attention to those things now so they don't affect you even more later on. The 5th money habit that I started that you should start today is closing out your budget every single month. We talked about in tip number 3 how you should categorize your budget. Well, in this tip, I am telling you that you should close out your budget every single month so that you can know how much you have spent under each of your budget categories. Knowing how much you spent and being able to evaluate how much you're spending under each category will help you so much when you're preparing future budgets and knowing if you ever need to cut back or add into another category. I like to do this every single month where we are evaluating how much we have spent under each category. Me and my husband will usually sit down and we will discuss all of the different categories that we have, how much we were supposed to spend under that category, and how much we actually spent. If we have one category that is continuously going under, meaning that we didn't spend as much as we thought we would spend, then we may move money out of that category and put it into a category where we may need extra. So for instance, with the past month, we ended up spending less on shopping, but more on subscriptions. So I ended up moving the money that I had set aside for shopping into subscriptions for this upcoming month to make sure that we're balancing it out and we're spending how much we have decided to spend under each category. So if you're not closing out your budget, you don't know exactly how well you're doing with the budgeting process. Make sure that you're closing out your budget every single month, and if you don't know how to do it, make sure that you check out this video where I talk about it. Money habit number 6 is to set aside some of the fun things that you usually restrict yourself from in your budget. Most of the time when we're talking about budgeting, we're talking about some type of restriction in one category or another to make sure that we don't overspend. For instance, with my family, a big pain point in our budget was eating out. We really enjoy eating out, and it was one of those things that we used to do all the time before we were budgeting. Now, I knew I had to restrict us from doing it every single day, but there are time frames where I decided that we actually should do it to make sure that budgeting wasn't too restricted for us overall. So what we decided to do was to have one day a week where we would eat out. That way, the entire family was always looking forward to Friday because we knew Friday we would get to do the thing that we love the most, which was to eat out. If you have a pain point in your budget, something that you constantly overspend in, I would not say to restrict yourself completely. Just pick a time frame, a day when you're going to do that particular thing. If it's eating out like us, then have a day of the week where you eat out. If it's shopping, then have a certain budget amount, maybe you say $50, that you're going to spend every single payday for shopping. But the goal here is to always have some type of cheat day or cheat process. Just think about it. If you are on a restrictive diet and you tell yourself that you can't have any sweets at any point in time under any circumstances, usually you can sustain that for a short period of time, but that is not something that you can do for the rest of your life. However, if you allow yourself to have certain cheat meals and cheat days throughout the course of your workout, then you're more likely going to actually stick to it for the long term. So with our budget, we want to do the same thing. I rarely do no spend months nowadays. And it's mainly because it reminds me of that restrictive, under no circumstances type of thought process, and it's not sustainable. I like to take the approach of having certain times where I can have a little bit of fun and I am able to do some of the things that I love. That way, I know that I'll stick to my budget for the long term. Money habit number 7 is to know your numbers. How much are you making? How much are you spending? What's your current net worth? How much debt do you have to pay off? You really want to know your numbers at any given time. Being aware of your numbers helps you in your overall financial journey make better decisions. If you know how much debt that you currently have, then when you're approached with a new opportunity to add on more debt, it will make you think twice. But in order to make better financial decisions overall, you have to know what you're currently working with. You have to know where you are. So this really goes back into closing out your budget every single month, because when you do that process, it will help you know a lot of your numbers. Every time I close out my budget, I know how much I made, how much I spent, how much I have in savings, how much I have left in debt, and my current net worth. And all of these numbers definitely help me make better financial decisions. Money habit number 8, assigning a specific reason of how you would spend your savings. So you have an emergency account and you have been putting aside money every single time that you get paid into your emergency savings. But do you have a definition of what is an emergency to you? When my husband and I first started setting aside money for our savings account, we decided that it was going to be our emergency fund. However, one day I checked the account and I noticed that he had moved money from the account into our regular checking account. When we talked about it, he said he just moved money from our savings account into our checking account because our checking account had gotten a little low. But what we realized in the midst of our conversation was that we had different definitions of what an emergency fund should be used for. He felt as though if the checking account was low, or if we needed to get something to eat, or if there wasn't any money in another account, that we should just easily move money from one to the other. My definition was that the emergency account should only be used under dire circumstances. Someone lost their job, or there's some type of medical emergency. So even though we both were saying that it was an emergency account, we had different definitions of what the word emergency meant to us. So when you're setting aside your emergency account, make sure that you define what the word emergency means to you. It doesn't have to mean the exact same thing to everybody. You definitely can assign your own definition to it, but you should know your reasons for taking out money out of your savings account. Now, I have 4 different types of savings accounts, and I go into depth and tell you how you can set up these particular accounts in my new course, Budget on Paper. This is a 6-week course that's going to help you learn how to build wealth, save more, all with using your budget planner. If you want to find out more about it, make sure that you check out the description box. I have all of the details there. Money habit number 9, invest in yourself. One of the best things that I started doing on my financial journey was to start investing in myself. This is when I would take a set aside of money, some small amount in my budget, and put it toward my overall financial growth, my business growth, or some type of growth that I felt like I needed. So reading books, taking courses, taking webinars, doing little things here and there that will help you learn more about yourself, your finances, finances and your overall business journey. And it may not seem like it's making that big of a difference while you're doing it, but I can definitely say over the 3 years that I have been reading books and taking courses, I have seen such a big change in who I have become as a person and how much I know. Investing in yourself, setting aside a small amount of money to put back into your own health, your journey, your business is definitely something that you should do forever. And money habit number 10 is to choose a financial goal that includes fun. Vacations and renovations, just things that's going to make your life more memorable and will help make your life a little bit easier along the way. My family has a places we want to go list. And on this list, we have all of the different vacations that we want to do and even different things that we want to just do in the city. Some of these things cost thousands of dollars. Other things are a small fee that we can just do on the weekend. But either way, including that fun thing that we want to do and making sure we have that on our financial radar makes budgeting so much more fun. We're more likely to actually stick to the budget, stick to the things that we have to do on a day-to-day basis, because we know next month we're going to take a trip. We know on Friday we're going to eat out. We know that on Saturday we're going to have some type of family day and do something fun in the city. So make sure all of your goals aren't just the serious things that you have to do. Make sure that you have some fun things in there that's going to make your life more memorable. Because your kids may not remember your debt-free goal, but they definitely will remember that trip to Disney World. So guys, I hope that you have enjoyed this video on the 10 money habits that you should start today. If you have any additional tips, make sure that you leave them in the comments below. And if you want to find out more about my course, make sure that you check out this video. I give you all of the details there. I will see you in tomorrow's video, and until then, keep organizing your life so that you can achieve your dreams. Bye guys.